This is the Arkansas River Valley. Right over there, about 2 blocks away, is Fort Smith's historic Garrison Avenue. They call Fort Smith the star of the Arkansas River Valley. Now, this was the only star that mattered back in my day. My name is Hech Thomas, and I'm the U.S. Deputy Marshal for the Federal Court of the Western District of Arkansas. Back when I was living in Fort Smith about 100 years ago, they called this place Hell on the Border. It was the last outpost between law and order and the untamed frontier country. Fort Smith started out as an army fort right here on the edge of the Wild West. They named it after General Thomas A. Smith. Didn't take long before this place was crawling with pioneers, speculators, trappers, traders, Indians, gamblers, a few missionaries, and more than a few outlaws. It was wild and untamed. It took men like me working under the authority of Judge Isaac C. Parker to tame this place and make it safe for all you law-abiding citizens. Looking back at it now, I reckon we did a pretty good job of it, if you'll pardon my saying so.
I'm U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves. This here's the Fort Smith National Historic Site. You know, back in the 1800s, this was a place where Judge Parker dispensed frontier justice. A whole lot of memories in this place. Right inside there, you'll find words on the wall of the jury room, inscribed there while Judge Parker was presiding, more than likely. Judge Parker, Isaac Parker, good friend of mine, sentenced 160 desperate criminals to hang from the gallows right over there. Sure did.
Public hangings were mighty big affairs back in the old days. People would come from miles around to watch outlaws take their last steps before swinging from these gallows. You know, there's a lot of history in this old border town. A whole lot. Butterfield Trail stagecoach, it passed through here pretty regularly. And the infamous Trail of Tears, well, it passed through here too.
You'll find the history told right here in the old Fort Smith Museum. The heritage of folks like me, Judge Isaac Parker, thousands of other brave men and women who endured the hardships of the frontier to build this town into the neighborly place it is today. There's more than a few heroes buried in this here place. This is the Fort Smith National Cemetery. The story of our nation can be told from the tombstones right here in this ground. What began as a burial ground for the original fort became a national cemetery after the Civil War. Excluding the American Revolution, veterans of every war this fine nation has ever fought are buried right here, including Fort Smith's own General William O'Darby, hero of World War II and founder of Darby's Rangers.
You know, one of my very favorite places is right over there. Miss Laura's Social Club. I think you'll like it too.
Miss Laura's used to be a brothel, but don't get all head up about it. These days it's the official visitor center. It's the only former bordello listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Ain't that something? Miss Laura's place is right by the river. Ask 'em about taking a ride on an authentic riverboat. I've always been partial to riverboats. Maybe you'll want to walk along the river, enjoy some of that beautiful scenery. You know, for just 25 cents, you can ride a trolley bus from Miss Laura's on an interpretive tour of historic Fort Smith. There's a stop at a trolley museum where you can see and ride a real electric trolley just like in the old days. Now, don't miss that Pat Museum or that guitar museum either. Take a tour of the churches. They're fascinating places. Good folks at Miss Laura's can tell you all about it. Stop there first and let them help you plan your visit. They got brochures and gifts and lots of good old-fashioned hospitality to give folks just like you. In this old Victorian home is the Fort Smith Art Center. They got some real nice pictures in there. Other works of art, too. Old and new. Bell Grove Historic District was high-class living back in my day. It still is. 22 blocks of beautiful Victorian homes, like the Clayton House here.
Out here on the eastern edge of Fort Smith is another former military installation, Fort Chaffee.
You probably heard of some of the young men who passed through the gates of Fort Chaffee.
One of them showed up wearing blue suede shoes, a feller named Elvis Presley. He got his first military haircut right here.
Never let me go.
You know, back in the old days, there wasn't much to eat but beans and cornbread. You can still get beans and cornbread, of course, but there are a whole lot more choices these days.
They got everything from mom-and-pop cafes to fancy restaurants. Nearly 200 of them, serving up just about any kind of grub you got a hankering for.
Yeah, just about.
Just about. There's no need to pack a bedroll, not for a good night's sleep. You can take your pick of establishments. There's plenty of fine hotels and motels. More than 1,400 rooms available.
Whether you're a history buff like me or you just like to buy things you won't find anywhere else, the Arkansas River Valley is a place to be. Handcrafted jewelry, artwork, traditional folk crafts, or hard-to-find authentic antiques.
And when night falls, there's more than a few places to enjoy live entertainment and dinner theater.
Yep, even for law-abiding citizens like us, Bass.
Are we? Cross the river, and you'll end up on Main Street in Van Buren. You can believe me when I tell you, it looks exactly like it did 100 years ago. Might look familiar to you even if you've never been here before. That's because Hollywood made a few movies right here on this street.
The Arkansas River Valley is surrounded by mountains, the Ozarks, the Boston, and the Ouachitas. And one of the best ways to see them is from a vintage excursion train. Cross 3 of the highest trestles between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains. Enjoy beautiful vistas. You'll even pass through a mountain tunnel. It's a classic.
And if you want to hold a meeting, then I got good news for you, partner. The spanking new $27 million state-of-the-art Fort Smith Convention Center has 125,000 square feet of space for meetings, exhibiting, or just about anything else that strikes your fancy.
You'll love the small town charm and the natural beauty of this historic border town, nestled right here in the rolling hills of the Arkansas River Valley.
If you got a hankering for special events, well, they got those all the time, like the old 4 Days Rodeo, and Riverfest, the Gathering, and the Riverfront Blues Festival.
There's plenty of friendly people to show you around. So come and experience the unique sights and sounds and the history of Fort Smith, star of the Arkansas River Valley.
Heck.
Bass.